Welcome back to the QORcast. Today we have a very special guest doing some really cool stuff in the FGC scene. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hey there, everybody. It's me. My name is Paul Shepard. I'm here in Las Vegas. I am the owner and founder of Bet on Block Gaming here locally in Las Vegas. Bet on Block Gaming is a esports and event planning logistics group. So we do a bunch of different stuff around here, work with a bunch of different communities and groups in Las Vegas, all trying to make esports better and grander here in our area.
Nice. Nice. So we have some news, I guess, that you and QOR Gaming are kind of collaborating on this interesting FGC circuit that is an online event, if I'm correct.
That is absolutely correct. We sure are. We teamed up here. So to give a little bit of more clarity and insight on this event, I had an idea where I wanted to do something really special, something that no one's ever done before in the fighting games community, because we've all done traditional circuits in any kind of genre of video games, right? We all kind of know how that goes. You go to the same events, you play the same game for X amount of maybe weeks, months, however it is, and then there's a grand finals and everybody gets hyped. Really cool time, but I just wanted to kind of mix things up a little bit, give something that no one's ever done. So I came up with an event, a circuit, and I call it the Starboard Side Standoff. And why it's called Starboard Side Standoff, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But first off, it is an totally encompassing fighting games genre circuit. We have 19 different games that are possible in this circuit. We don't just do one, we're doing all of them.
19.
19 different games. So every single week, every month, it's changing to a different title just to get that versatility and just variety. Variety in the fighting games. Because there's just so many people in the community that just flex different games or just enjoy a variety of different games, or maybe they just really liked an old style game and that's just their favorite one, So I kind of want to put that in there just so everybody has a chance to mix around the points. And so far it's been really successful. We're on our third offline event. We have two different circuits going on. One is going to be the offline here locally in Las Vegas, and the other one, which we teamed up with QOR, is the online version. So with that said, we're going from, we started earlier in May, and this circuit goes all the way until we do our top 8 in November.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to top 4 of both brackets, and then the top 4 players on each side is going to go to Las Vegas to do a top 8 finals, right? So if you're in the online circuit, you're getting a free trip to Vegas.
And so it'll be a LAN for the
a LAN, and then we go from top 8 to top 4. Then on January we go from top 4 to top 2, and then grand finals in February is going to actually be hosted live on a Royal Caribbean cruise that's going to Ensenada. So that's why that's why it's called Starboard Side, because no one's ever done anything on a cruise ship, and I know just how amazing that those would be. Have you ever been on a cruise ship?
I've been on a cruise before. I don't know.
I actually have never
You've never been
on a cruise. Nah, never.
Oh,
I've always wanted to, but I've never had the opportunity.
It's such a good time, and it's just an untapped area of entertainment and fun times. So I just wanted to put something that I really enjoyed doing and a community that I really enjoyed, and just give people that opportunity.
So have you been like heavily involved in the FGC scene like for a while now, or is this one of the first like large scale FGC events that you guys are kind of putting together?
So I spent a lot of my time just in esports in general. My up and comings was when I was in college at UNLV, where I was part of their collegiate esports team, 8-Bit Esports. I went from just an attendee as a student, went to an admin, spent a lot of time there, focused primarily on Smash Brothers. That's where my start was. Then I started learning more into the fighting game scene, had my own team that was on there for the collegiate. We had one opportunity where I had a ragtag player face of 3 different players, because that's all we could recruit. We took them to a circuit that was going on for a nationwide competition we got all the way to third place. That was live streamed on ESPN, where they got scholarship money. It was amazing.
Awesome.
It was such a good time.
That's sick.
So once we went through that, I spent a lot of time there, graduated from UNLV, and then I kind of took a hiatus trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what my career was, but I was always involved in esports in more of a voluntary aspect. I was always at events. I was always trying to help people at different organizations and conventions here locally. And then I decided to pull the trigger later on around, I think 2020 or 2021, to get Bet on Block Gaming started, because I have years of knowledge and experience, and I know what kind of goals and expectations I know that Vegas can get to. So I just wanted to throw that out there, put myself on the map and see what I can do. And with that, since then, I started a monthly event series called Monsoon Mayhem. That's there, where we host 5 different tournaments every single month, every third Friday of the month. And then just with that opportunity, getting a chance to meet everybody, be more of a local household name that people know, I pulled the trigger and then went with the circuit because I thought it's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
Time to upgrade to a larger scale operation. So
how difficult is it to when it comes to just running FGC? I mean, it's not like not like a tactical shooter. So you need like 5 PCs, you need like 10 PCs if it's a 5v5 or something like that. It's mostly just like realistically, you just need like 1 PC or PS5 and a monitor because the 2 guys go against each other. Is it like a lot harder? Is there like more? Do you think it's difficult to run an FGC tournament compared to like maybe like a tactical FPS or any of those kind of games, or like a MOBA?
Well, I honestly think you're entirely correct in the aspect of just the equipment needs and logistics on that is incredibly different when it comes to fighting games and MOBAs and or FPS games. You're totally correct with that. I would say it's a lot easier when it comes to fighting games to get something started because, as you said, all you need is just 1 console and 1 monitor, and people will start playing. The only thing that really, I don't think it really matters too much, but when it comes to fighting games, all about frame data.
Yeah.
So you have to have good enough monitors and stuff that have the frequencies and wattages, just so they have that input. It has to be quick second, because that's the difference between dropping a combo.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I know a lot of it with when it comes. I know from LANs. I've been to LANs when it comes to like fighting, or not fighting, but when it comes to tactical or MOBAs. A lot of them bring their own mouse or keyboard and their own mouse pad and everything. For FGC, it just seems like I know some of them wear headphones, like their own headphones, because they listen to music when they're fighting. But most of them, they just bring themselves, or they just bring their hitbox or controller. So does it like? Have you guys ever had a situation where someone has like ever forgot that, and you're like, oh shit, like he needs to, or his doesn't work or something like that, and you're like, oh, I mean, we'll get you like a backup one or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everybody's kind of on the spectrum of every event is pretty much bring your own controller because everybody has that familiarity. They like how their buttons are set. They like how their controller feels in their hands. I would say that there has been situations where that happens, where someone's like, I forgot my stick, or my stick that's set up, it's too old tech, so it won't convert to like a PS5 plugin. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But as an event provider, I've seen that enough times to where I have my own supply of either handheld controllers, or I have my own hitbox that I give out to people that they need. But when it comes to the community, because they're so tight-knit and everybody really likes each other and has a good time, and it's so versatile, they just say, yo, just use my stick. Here you go. It feels the same, right? You could use it.
So before you mentioned that, there are 19 games that are going to be in this circuit?
That's correct.
How did you determine like what's going in?
So I wanted to focus it more on, of course, with the modern games that are happening right now, more of the popular ones. So Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, City of the Wolves that just came out about a month ago, so on and so forth. So I have those as kind of like the main stage games. that are going to be, and I don't even choose them myself. I have a wheel that I just spin and I live stream and say, which one is going to be this time?
Okay.
That's actually so funny.
Exactly. So it's always going to be guaranteed different because once one has been spun, it's locked out. It's gone until all the other options have been picked. And then we reset. That way, nobody can just be like, well, I'll just wait until the next Tekken event, it'll come up again. No, I don't.
Yeah.
So you spin the wheel. It has 6 different options. Like I said, Tekken, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, Grand Blue. We just had Grand Blue on Thursday. Fatal Fury. And then the other one that is a random chance spin, which is a whole different wheel of more of the obscure or classic fighting games.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask your opinion about Fatal Fury. I don't know if you saw their I think their tournament was like a $2 million prize pool. And it's getting like a lot of attention, a lot of money flowed inside of it. And then other pros from other like top tier pros from other games are like, this is insane. Like these prize pools are insane for an FGC at least tournament. I wanted to know your opinion about that, because I know there's a lot of investors into the Fatal Fury series. So I wanted to know your opinion on like the prize pool when it comes to that, and it's the effect on how other organizers are going to compete when it comes to Fatal Fury, specifically that.
Very good questions. I heard about that as well. It's just SNK is doubling down on City of the Wolves because it's their newest, biggest game. I believe that KOF XV came out about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Like
this
2017.
is their latest installment. It came out a while ago, so everybody that is just hyped about it, and because the game is so easily accessible, and a lot of the fundamentals are the same, that people can start flexing into that game or just want to give it a try because obviously it's a beautiful game. Have you guys seen it all? Have you any?
Yeah, it looks. It's got that like comic book aesthetic that the
like
SNK...
you're playing Marvel or something.
Yeah.
So it's really beautiful. The button layouts are great. It's very accessible for players and any skill range, from brand new like myself, because I don't play the games, I just make the events, so I'm button mashing to absolute Evo legends like Chris G.
Yeah.
You have that spectrum. When it comes to the prize pool, though, it does put a different precedent for other fighting games, obviously. But you have to also think of what franchises are in competition, because you've got some of the big ones. You've got Bandai Namco, you've got Capcom. Those are kind of the big boys right now. So SNK is trying to get back onto proper form. More in the aspect of myself, I see myself more of like the grassroots locals community kind of leadership role, where I understand what money equates to the local scene. And as much as it's nice, it's also a warning to everybody in the community, because I've seen more than enough times when different companies try to use money as an incentive that it tends to fail miserably. To my example, I'll say is that back in the day, I think in 2018, Caesars Entertainment, they tried to start esports here in Las Vegas, and they used to have a Street Fighter V event that they would do every single week, and every single week the grand prize was a guaranteed $2,000.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. First, you would get a bracket of about 20, 30 people because it's new, it's exciting, there's big money on the line. By next month that it was events that were happening, you'd get 5 participants, because you'd get these big name professionals that would come down, absolutely stomp everybody, and then they just got $2,000 like it was a 2-hour shift at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to those big events, obviously that's a whole different world, because we're starting to get into like the franchises, the professional leagues. We're getting into big company names that have signed on players, where that extremely matters to them when it comes to either clout, public name, competition, skill set, exactly, you know what I mean? Let's see. I think, that's pretty much. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So with this kind of style of circuit, where like it's a different game every week, do you think that more events might start popping up like this that are gonna kind of test people across multiple games? Because there are certain pros, I guess you would say, in the FGC scene. Like, for example, Sonic Fox, who has been known to, like, pick up new games, like, instantly when they come out and stuff and just dominate them. Do you think if more events like this come out, we'll start seeing more players like that kind of try to be the best at, like, every single game rather than, like, the big example I use is, like, Tekken players are usually just Tekken players and they won't touch anything else. But with events like this definitely incentivizes people to, like, start grinding, like, even the more obscure games and stuff like that.
You're absolutely right. And that is one of my goals, is that I want to have that diversity in the fighting game spectrum. I want people to be able to play different games because, like you said, you have people like Sonic Fox. I love Sonic Fox. I used to follow him when he was playing MK, when he was playing Dragon Ball Fighters. Yo, when they had Goichi versus Sonic Fox show matches here, when the HyperX first opened, that was insane. But it's always fun seeing those names, because especially when you watch giant major competitions like EVO or Combo Breaker that's happening right now, if you follow that player and you enjoy what they're doing, it's always a refreshing surprise to see them in a different game. It's like, I had no idea he played that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I agree with you, where some players, and that's kind of the pushback that I've gotten in some of the tournaments that are some of the past circuit events, is just, well, I only play Grand Blue. You know what I'm saying? But,
yeah.
That's okay, because that's the whole point. It's just pushing the comfort zone, trying to get you into playing different games, getting you more aspect in what's available, trying to see, maybe you will like the next game, you just never had the chance to do it, or maybe you do like other games, but because of how mainstream gaming works, you just don't get that opportunity because players have moved on, or it's just an old gen console game that was going on. So with that being said, I hope that more events kind of try to implement the style that I'm doing, just for the players in general. I feel like that's a more positive direction.
And with all this being said, what do you think is the most, like, obscure game that you have in the circuit?
Oh, okay. In the circuit, I thought you just meant in general, because that's a different question I haven't.
You can answer both if you want, but
okay. So the most obscure fighting game, and I wish I could have put it on there, but it's like a Dreamcast game, and I don't know if I have the ability to do that, but it's called Balls.
I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
It is the most insane fighting game, and it's so silly. It's like, I got a $2 budget. It's hilarious. But the most obscure that I have in my circuit is that I'd have to say that I know they just had a refresh of it with the Fighting Games collection out, but we do have Classic Marvel 2.
Oh.
Pretty much everybody's first fighting game, if you ask me. Because
like all the classics.
Everybody had to play it at least once.
That's Jay Wan's, like, bread and butter, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, Jay Wan, the Wazzler.
Yeah. That was one of his baby. I think he won Evo with that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT of MVC2.
Yeah, I know
the
that
GOAT
one.
of any classic game.
Yeah, that is true.
He always gets shit on for the
Daigo
the parry.
Oh, the favorite.
Daigo.
Yep.
He gets Daigo, but I love how he always, like, leans into it and always just jokes about it, because, like, you could tell like it's been years. It kind of, like, didn't make his career, but you could tell, like, he still lives off of it. You know, it's always funny, and it's always people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it blindfolded," and he's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" So it's always funny to see that. But that's what I also like about the FGC community. It's a lot of people just, like, lean in on the jokes when they do something bad, or, like, they mess up on stage or something like that, or something bad happens. They always, like, after, like, a year later, they're like, "Ah, shit, you know, that was kind of funny in the moment."
Yeah, because it's not serious. It's no harm feelings. It's just about the fun. That's what I love about this fighting games community, is that people just know how to be people. You know what I'm saying? It's not always 110% serious. It's not competition all the time. It's not, I have to worry about my look, my image. I've seen people just go 0 and 2, and they're like, "Man, that was the most fun I've ever seen." You know? So seeing those moments, I definitely agree. It's a household classic. Everybody knows what that moment is, and then when you can just kind of follow into it and say, "Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm going to work with that," and it's great to hear.
So now, with all of this stuff said about the tournament, where can we see it?
Well, You can definitely see it on QOR's page. They have it posted on there on their social media accounts as well as their website. You can see it on my Instagram account, which is @betonblockgaming. I have that updates all the time. We just recently posted the results of our 3rd offline event, and we'll have different flyers and information on there. You can also go to my website, which is www.betonblockgaming.com, where you can see not only what the circuit does and what Monsoon Mayhem does, but you can also learn about what Bob can do for you. If you're looking to host an esports event or anything in that matter, or just trying to have a chill gaming environment for clients and all that, just give me a heads up.
Awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean,
it's super fun.
Yeah, I really hope this cruise thing, because I've never heard about LAN happening on a cruise, which is it's so funny, because to me it's like, you know, you've heard like this about like people hosting like LANs on like anywhere or anything, but like on a cruise is also like such an entertaining thing to think, or such a thing that I don't think so anybody's ever done, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they have not. I've seen some cruises that were in the Asian territories where they did like an esports recording for like a finals or something on there for a MOBA, but nothing in this scale. And not only is it the finals that are happening, but there's so much more included. I've also booked 16 different cabins to where anybody can sign up to be on this theme cruise and get a cabin and be on there. We're incorporating the whole esports to the agenda that's on there. So we have the live viewing that's happening. We're going to have an arcade style setup of all the games that were in the circuit so people can play those. We'll have some little side gigs for fun little prizes, or maybe even a discount. I'm working with Royal Caribbean to see if they might be able to throw in a free cruise for someone for one of those. And, you know, it makes sense. You get to go play video games that are fun because it's a leisure time. It's how you relax. It's how you have fun. Cruises, it's pretty much the same vibe. And then you get to go have your favorite food. You get to partake in some drink. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You get to go explore, travel, see the world. Come on. It writes itself.
I think it's great. I'm kind of curious. Maybe next time you guys should get you guys should partner up with like a plane company, and you guys should host a LAN on a plane and see how crazy that is.
On a plane. Oh my god.
Like while you guys are in the air,
on the way to the destination, it's like, all right,
on the way to the destination, you guys are on a plane, like a private plane. You guys are hosting like a top 8 right there. I think that would be like the next step, or like if anything on a submarine. I don't know how you're gonna make it work, but that would be insane.
Gotta make it crazier every time.
You gotta make it crazy. You just gotta go crazier and crazier.
Crazy. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. And with that being said, I'll make one last point about the circuit, is that with QOR and Bet on Block Gaming, we do have the next event coming up. We did have to postpone it. It was going to be later today, but because of Combo Breaker happening, we're going to give everybody just one more week. So you have plenty of time to sign up. Again, if you go on QOR's social media, if you follow Bet on Block Gaming on Instagram, you'll see all that information, all the rules, details, all the agreements that you need. Make sure you have a passport. Please have a passport if you're going to sign in. And the circuit will start at 5 p.m. post Pacific time on Saturday the 31st. And the game will be Guilty Gear.
Strive.
So if you're the Guilty Gear head, now is the time to sign up, because that's when you get the most points, is when there isn't that many people signed up yet. That's the tech.
100%. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, Paul.
Thank you guys so much. Again, I really do appreciate you guys reaching out to me and having me on here. It's such a good time, and I cannot wait to hear this again, post it on Instagram, and show everybody, look, I was on a podcast, look at me go.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on again as the circuit comes by to get some updates on how it's going.
Some updates. Exactly. Well, thank you. Anytime you need me, I'm always available for you guys. It was a great time.
You as well.
Thank you so much.
But
thank you so much.
For listening, everyone, and we will see you next time.